Hello, everyone. Welcome to RMU Psychology Presents Let's Talk Networking and Psychology Student Resources. As a reminder, we would just like you to mute your recordings. If you have any questions, you can put them in the chat or you can wait till the end to answer. For our overview for today, we have developing your brand or professional image. We have talking about social media in terms of networking and professional image, dressing for success, acting on the talk, and then resources that are available to you, and then the questions at the end. For today, I am Brianna Bunner. I am a second year Master's in Counseling student and a psych graduate assistant. And we also have Amber with us. She is also a first year master's student and a graduate assistant for psychology. And then our special guest today, Dean Myers. He is our Dean for the School of Nursing, Education, and Human Studies. So he will get on today and talk about wise words from our Dean about developing your professional image, networking, and resources available to you.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate you having me, and thank you for all of you that are tuned in and watching. I think the most important thing for everybody to remember is your job search starts now. All the things you're doing now are building to where you get that professional connections. You are building your interviews. The thing, you will get lots of advice from these two wise people that are going to be presenting to you in a moment. But I think the most important thing is there's no time when you're off the clock. You don't know when you're interacting with that one person or that one event that will turn into something that you can get. I'll give you two quick examples. We had a student last year that actually got a job they never applied for because they went and interacted with a school district, and the school district was so impressed about what they were doing, they offered them a position they never applied for. So you don't know where those connections are. And the second thing is, and I know this from personal experience because I can't escape certain things in my own past, but the internet lives forever. So anything you put out there can come back around. And if you saw what happened to the coach of the Las Vegas Raiders last night, great example. Something from 10 years ago comes back around and can cost you. So anything you're putting out there into the world, know it's going to be out there representing you and your professional image and who you want to be forever. So think about that before you post some certain things, because there are no secrets once it's out there in the public sphere. I want to congratulate all of you for joining us. I want to thank Brianna and Amber for doing this. But more importantly, if you guys think of anything that we can help you with, please do not hesitate to ask, because I will make sure if I don't know the answer to the question, I will find someone that does and we'll connect them with you. But thanks, everybody. Thanks for talking and being here today, and have a great day.
Thank you, Dean Myers. We appreciate it. Okay, guys, so we're going to move on to talking about developing your brand and professional image. So you kind of want to figure out who you are and determine what you want to be known for. So you can create a list of your personal strengths and weaknesses. So that basically know what you need to work on and know what you need to do well in, and need to touch up on while you are working on all of those things. You can identify your path. So would you like a leadership presence in more formal corporate setting, or an entrepreneur in a more casual, idealistic career path? So kind of knowing the difference between where you want to go, what you want to do, who you want to be known for, or what you want to be known for, and then kind of figuring out how that works together. You can identify where you want to live or where you want to be in 5 to 10 years and set those career goals based on your answer. Moving on, so define your audience, research your desired industry, and follow the experts. So what we mean by that is determine who you're trying to reach. So what is who would be your future employer? An individual at a particular company? Is it a practicum or internship site? So you figure out, okay, where do I want to go? What do I want to do? And then you start researching. You compile research on experts in your field of study or future role models that you'd like to be like. So how did those individuals get to their current role? What degrees do they have? What certifications? Who are their connections? Who are their network? What types of skills do they have? What are their competencies? So I'll kind of give a little bit of an example in terms of like my life. As I've mentioned before, Dr. Manda, who is our department head for psychology and health sciences, she's my role model. She has been since I was in high school, from the moment I met her. And I really liked everything that she did, not only in the academic standpoint, but in her professional life as well. And I decided, like, I'm going to research Dr. Manda. I'm going to know where she got her degrees, what she did, and then I'm going to ask her questions. And I ended up coming to Robert Morris and being able to work with her more long term, and understanding, like, where are my strengths, what are her strengths, how can I kind of build on that, what can I do differently, what can I do the same. And it kind of got me to where I am now in my master's in counseling psychology program. So it's really good to kind of identify that role model or those experts in the field, and then to either model that behavior, or you can even adjust it in any way that best fits your future and long-term goals. All right, so developing your brand. Ask for informational interviews from those experts and prepare an elevator pitch. So if there's other experts in the field, it's really good to be able to ask them questions and to be able to identify, like, those parts of you that can help you get to where you want to go, and parts that, like, model what they've done already. So you can ask questions that can help you gather new insight about your desired field, such as, how did you break into the industry? How did you see the industry evolving? How did you stay up to date with the industry trends? And are there any professional or trade associations I should join? So when we say industry, in terms of psychology, that's just the psychology field, whether that is working in a private practice or in a company setting like UPMC, or in a different setting that is more like holistic and, like, really team approach. And then prepare that elevator pitch. So when you're asking those questions and you say, okay, this is exactly what I want to do, this is who I am, this is where I want to go, how can we kind of get there? And so an elevator pitch is a 30 to 60-second story about who you are, what you do, where you're going, or where you'd like to go in your career. Okay, developing your brand. Embrace networking, ask for recommendations, and grow your online presence. So network regularly and effectively, which means connect with peers and industry leaders by going to formal, informal, and online networking events. Ask for informational interviews, and then follow up via email or LinkedIn. And as a reminder, when you follow up via email, you are never going to bother them. The more that you email, the more that you get your name out there, the more interaction that you have, the more they remember your name. And you can do that by the images that you see on the screen. So you can do Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, like reaching out, LinkedIn, and I know we have, I think it's Colonial Check, I believe. So we have those different type of ways to interact with our local restaurants, places, places of work. And then cultivate your own reviews in the form of recommendations. So ask former managers, mentors, professors, leaders of organizations, maybe even a faculty advisor, for recommendations to be able to provide that to future employers. And then grow your online presence. We'll kind of talk about that in the next couple slides, but make sure you reach out. I'm gonna pass it over to Amber for social media, supporting your brand.
Hello. All right, so social media supporting your brand. Basically, this is where everything that you place on social media becomes your brand. Keep your public content professional. Join social media groups that are relevant to your careers. Connect with others, colleagues, friends, and companies. Focus your social media postings on accomplishments and skills that are helpful to an employer. Personally, in my experience, I have watched a lot of my friends post things throughout the years, and I've had quite a few say that it's bitten them in the butt. So when I mean, like, by trying to keep everything clean as much as you professionally can, it's very important, especially on like LinkedIn and like Handshake and all those kind of like apps and stuff. LinkedIn is a great app to put your accomplishments on and stuff. Like, make sure you're keeping up to date with like your jobs you're doing, any organizations you are in within school. Like if you got like a 4.0 or if you got an internship, those are like excellent posts to put on those kind of apps, because employers can see that and they can see how hard you're working in school, and that's what they want for their employees that they want to choose. All right, professional profiles. So making frequent updates to your professional profiles is essential. Keeping up to date with everything you're doing is how employers see the progress you make throughout the years. That's what they want, especially in your years of college. They're going to pay attention to what you're doing from the time you start to the time you finish. Feature a clear and professional profile picture. Having a nice professional headshot is important. You don't want anything distracting behind you, as they are going to see if you can have a professional look. Including that last 5 to 10 years of professional experience. Some people might not have that. As much of professional experience you have is pretty essential, just to show that you have some sort of experience, especially if you started in college. Like, there's nothing wrong with starting in college, and just keep growing as you go. Including an elevator pitch in the summary section. Why are you awesome? I mean, even if it's the smallest thing, like you're in a sorority or fraternity and I accomplished this many hours of volunteer service with this organization because this is what we focus on. They like seeing those kind of things. They want to see your involvement. It's so essential to be as much involved. I mean, especially because of COVID right now. Begin to publish relevant professional content. Again, keeping up to date with everything that you're doing professionally is important. Change your privacy and broadcast settings before making profile updates so that you don't spam your network, and raise the eyebrows of your current employer. Yeah, make sure your privacy settings and everything are up to date, and make sure you have a good flow. You don't want to post like 20 posts in a day. I mean, obviously that should be a given. Posting pretty frequently though, at least a few times a week, can be very important. That way you're maintaining some sort of flow in your traffic, and they can see that, oh, you're doing something consistently. It doesn't have to be 20 million times a day. They just want to see that you're keeping up to date with everything as much as possible. All right, so social media, how to unplug from the digital world. Constantly checking can cause more stress and anxiety to your everyday life. I'm sure we all do this because we're all trying to check something throughout the day. It can cause a lot of stress and anxiety, especially if you're like waiting for important things like a grade, or if you're trying to like hear back from a job like you interviewed at, or even if you're just trying to check in on your friends and like you're not getting a response. That can cause a whole bunch of stress and anxiety. Taking a break from social media, even if it's for a few hours, can be helpful for your mental health. I know we have grown so dependent on social media and everything, especially more recently because of the pandemic, and everything is so much more virtual now, but it's so important, especially since things are starting to become more normal again, to do those things you loved originally and not just focus your time on your phone, your tablet, your laptop, whatever have you. I mean, social media can be wonderful for resources, but it can be very overwhelming at times, especially since there is so much happening in the world recently, and it has been for over a year now. The social media aspect of it is very much stressing of what's happening, and it's causing literally an epidemic. So it's important to know that unplugging and unwinding is just as important as being there and being focused on it. You have to have that balance, because if not, it can be consuming, and that's just not good for your overall health. So it's very important to know when to take a break.
Yeah, thank you, Amber. And then we're just going to talk briefly on dressing for success and acting on the talk. So basically what we mean by that is you never know who you're going to meet, or who you're going to run into, or a situation that you may be placed in. And so you should always project yourself in a really good light. In terms of like the way you dress. Like if you are going out to an interview, you probably shouldn't be wearing sweatpants or a t-shirt or jeans. If you're going to an interview, you probably want to wear dress slacks or, something more a little bit business casual. It doesn't have to be super dressy, but it's also good to kind of dress the part. You also need to act and back up the brand that you showcase. So in order to do that, you project yourself in a really good light. You're respectful, you're positive, you're, projecting all of the good attributes that you have. And then you make sure to act and talk and execute daily, no matter what you're doing. Again, that kind of goes back to the social media presence as well. You always want to project your best self on social media, and just when you're out doing different things, because like Tia Myers mentioned before, you might not know where that next job may come, and you might not have to apply for it. They might just offer it to you based on what you're doing. Amber, do you have any thoughts on this slide?
Yeah, so dressing for success is important because most companies you get into have a dress code anyways, and you have to follow it because my job personally, there are times where I'm being observed and I might not know it until that day. So it's one of those things, being consistent is very important. And I mean, that's the whole thing with social media. Like, employers do understand that, like, you're going to have fun. You might post a drink with alcohol if you are of age. You have to be 21. But it's important to do it in a tasteful manner. They understand that we all live our lives. They understand that we're young and we're in our early 20s, so we're gonna have fun, but doing it in the appropriate manner is essential. And it's just one of those things. How I see it is, personally, if my grandmother was watching what I was doing, would she approve? Because it's one of those things where employers can use it against you, just like Dean Myers mentioned with the Raiders coach. Like, that happened all yesterday, and something that he did 10 years ago is literally catching up to him now. And it's like, he worked on his career for so many years. It doesn't have to happen in an instant. It can happen at any given time, depending what is posted on social media and depending what is found. So making sure you keep up with yourself in that appropriate manner all the time is important and essential.
Yeah, thank you for that. And then we would just like to kind of identify some resources that are available to you as RMU students. So the RMU Career and Professional Development Center, it's located in Benjamin Rush Center, which is on the opposite side of campus, not anywhere near the dorms, but past like Scaife and really close to Wheatley. And then basically what they can do is they can help you with practicum or internship sites, finding jobs, a lot of career fair related things. And then we have the RMU Center for Student Success and Professional Development. They're located in Nicholson 137, and they're available Monday through Friday. So basically they can help you with resume building, any academic things you may need, whether that's classes or even set credit, things like that. They can kind of help guide you in that manner. I would also like to, before we get to our questions, like to just emphasize that we do have another webinar series or webinar presentation coming up. That'll be in November. And then we also have tip sheets coming out, so make sure to keep an eye out for those. And then, as always, if you have any topics or things that you would like to discuss, please reach out to either Amber or myself, and let us know like what you want to talk about, and we would gladly look into doing a webinar on that as well. Amber, do you have any last words before we get to our questions?
No, we covered it all.
Okay. Thank you guys again for watching, and if you need anything, Amber and I are always here to help.